Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Google Workspace Recap, a Tab Geeks Network show. Each week we take you through everything announced by Google Workspace, discussing the updates of the week and other relevant news and announcements. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. We're going to be doing a live YouTube event this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time to discuss the decision to force users to upgrade their legacy G Suite accounts. We will be joined by some other affected experts in the community, and although we won't have anyone from Google on this call, we have reached out to the Workspace team and they will be providing us with an official response. So they're allowing us to submit questions. Please comment on this YouTube video below with your questions, and we'll do our best to submit them and get them answered and get an answer from Google. And so we hope you will join us live. Steve, how's it going?
Pretty good. Not too much new going on for me these days. Just looking forward to this first live event that we have coming up.
Woohoo!
So I know we had a pretty big turnout for some of the other live events that we did with Workspace Admins group early last year. I think we had a couple hundred people turn out. I don't know if we'll get that many with kind of the short notice with this Wednesday, but I think given the interest in the topic, we'll get a pretty decent turnout for this, and hopefully get a chance to get through some potentially unanswered questions. There's been a lot of activity, as we said before, especially on Reddit. We actually had to we had to start deleting posts because there was so many just popping up like with the same stuff. So
it's crazy.
Like this G Suite legacy mega thread now on
Master
Reddit
thread.
there
Nice.
too. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of the things are just being discussed in there, and we'll try to go through that. You and I will go through that before Wednesday. Kind of pick out some of the questions from there, some topics, make sure we're familiar with what some of the main concerns are. And I think we talked about this before. So I think the main concern is that you have a lot of people that are using it, for personal use that doesn't seem to quite be addressed by Google and recognized by Google. They're kind of thinking it's more of small businesses or something like that. They're using it and are able to move forward with a plan where they can make some license payments for whatever. But in a lot of cases,
Here's hoping. Here's hoping they give us a good option.
But there's a few things. I think the articles are evolving in terms of the help articles that Google has in terms of how many questions that they're answering in there and things that they're updating in that. So
they're not announcing anything. We haven't seen anything posted. It's just silently updating those articles there.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
gotta love it.
So that's what we've got for this week.
Loaded week for releases.
I was just going to say, we had a pretty busy week for updates. We had 8 come out last week, and then we also had an update for the Drive for Desktop client. So version 35 is also released, or rolling out to those of you on a kind of gradual rollout pace. We don't really know what pace it is, but it is rolling out, and then a few other topics that we saw in the news. So we'll get through those 8 updates real quick here, and then we'll dive into those in a bit of detail. So first off, we have Originality reports now being available for Google Slide files, and of course that sounds very much education based. Create or import text watermarks in Google Docs, and the ability to use Cloud Search Stats API to keep track of billable usage. There is the Google Voice support for more polycloud connected desk phones. Nice little added benefit there. More support for devices. You can see when a message is deleted in a Google chat space. And I love your moving cursor here, Jesse, in our notes. It's like
sorry, I'm
around,
distracting you.
See, there's like pink cursor just popping all around. We have some new navigation bar functions in Google Drive. The ability to use directory search beta for fast and easy sync of users and groups. So this is one of the topics that I posted in the Google Cloud Connect community the other week, talking about the invisible changes that we were seeing in the admin console, but no announcement on the update. Well, here's the update finally.
There you go.
And then Last but not least, we have the ability to categorize content and enhance content protection at scale with Google Drive labels. So that's a pretty cool one. And
Good stuff.
then we have the Drive for Desktop update version 55 came out. That started rolling out on January 27th. And then a few other topics that we have here for the news is that
They're all
Google's
basically the same.
Oh, are they all the legacy stuff? Okay, I didn't even read through these, but yeah, essentially, there's some more options. It looks like they're cropping up for these legacy G Suite legacy accounts
for us.
of what what can happen with the transition into account types moving forward. So yeah, that's it. All right. So let's jump in. Let me go over to my other tab here. Of course, where did I put this now?
The Originality reports.
Well, yeah, I have a window here of all of our updates, and there it is. I usually do it in my Chrome Canary window, so I can like command tab between apps instead of through windows in the same browser. Anyways, Originality reports now available in slides in the Google Slide files. So, as I said, this is something for the Google Workspace education users and teachers. Really, this is a way for teachers to evaluate how original something is. And this is something that used to be only available, I believe only available, but available in docs, and now also available in slides. So for those in education, I'm sure that teachers and admins and those alike will appreciate this to get some additional coverage on the content that students are creating and make sure that it is genuinely original content they're making and not copies of someone else's. So in terms of availability, this is available now, and now being the day it rolled out and was announced January 24th to the Workspace for Education Fundamentals, Education Standard, Teaching and Learning Upgrade, and the Education Plus customers. All right. Next is that we have the ability to create or import text watermarks in Google Docs. Now, this is a pretty interesting one because the reason why I can imagine that this was so difficult to implement is just kind of the way that the document is kind of designed in Google Docs, right? It's not really a Word document that has a lot of different layers and things like that. This is really just an HTML file. So I think it took a little while to kind of figure out how to accurately overlay this and get things right. But this is now rolling out to customers on those rapid release domains that started the 24th of January on a gradual rollout, up to 15 days for visibility there. And then for scheduled release domains, it starts on Valentine's Day, February 14th, on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility there. And this one is going to be available to all Google Workspace customers, as well as G Suite Basic and Business. So I wonder if this could be something. I'm trying to think about this. So, just how we have drive labels that apply different classifications to a document up top. It can say, confidential, restricted. I wonder if there will be some ways to kind of leverage those labels and then link them to a watermark.
That'd be clever.
That would be interesting. Yeah, it would be.
Slap a label on it and it'll automatically apply the watermark.
Yeah, exactly.
Clever.
But that is not what this update says it will be. But I think for future enhancement, combine that with our last update of the week, which is the Categorize content and enhanced content protection with drive labels. Kind of put those two together. Be a nice new feature.
Definitely.
All right. And the next one here is that the Cloud Search Stats API can be used to keep track of billable usage. I don't know anyone using Cloud Search APIs. Do you? I haven't. I think it's rarely used feature, maybe for enterprises. So I think, if you have an existing, uh, you know, file server, I'm talking about, massive petabytes type things,
Hmm.
size. I think that's probably where Cloud Search can come in handy and sit on top of that existing data structure and analyze that and kind of give that Google search capabilities to those kind of legacy file servers without having to migrate it. But this again gives you access to things like billable index documents, billable queries, billable search applications, and coming to admins to kind of get some uh, you know deeper insight into those cloud search stats and the APIs there. All right. Looking at that rollout, that one was pretty straightforward. It is available to all Cloud Search customers, and it was available when it was announced on Tuesday, the 25th of January. And next we have the enhanced support for, or extended support for more Poly Cloud connected desk phones. So this is going to extend the different models and features, or different models that are supported. So it'll include the Poly Edge B series IP desk phones, the OB300 302 analog adapters, and then the Poly Trio 8300 conference phones. Something that I know Jesse and I have been in quite a few conversations last year with some of the Google PMs that were doing those kind of biweekly office hours. So we're kind of aware of this potentially happening soon. But this is now the official announcement here. It's been a little while. Yeah, true. So let's see. I'm just looking through the rollout pace for each one's here. It looks like support for the Edge B desk phones and the OB300 302 devices. It is available right now. And then support for the Trio 8300 device will be available in the coming weeks. So they'll share more information about that in the updates blog when that changes.
Have you seen the Edge B phones, the desk phones from Poly?
I've not.
They're a newer model as like since Plantronics and Polycom merged under the Poly brand. They're like cute, curved edges type of a look with easy to press. I mean, Polycom in general has had really good easy to press buttons. I've been using them for over a decade in various positions that I had, but just looking at some of the pictures leading up to this, their buttons, like the mute button, has a bright red circle around it, and volume buttons are bright green. It's just nice little updates that they added to these, and it looks like a nice, well-designed phone, and it works with Google Voice. So it's a non-color screen, kind of a mid-range device, probably relatively affordable, and a good option for those of you who require desk phones for Google Voice.
Yeah, I'm looking at the RRP here. The B10 is about 100, B20 also 100, and the B30 is about 120. So
there you go.
Yeah,
good options. There's a press release blog on Poly as well. Talks about these.
I wonder what the difference between the 10 and the 20 is, because they're the same exact price.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that, or we'll have to get somebody from Poly to come and talk to us about it. Yeah, I like their.
It looks nice.
I like their equipment, and then they've got the OB adapters, which are always great. I was actually just looking at one of those for Ring Central as well for the ATAs to give Dominic some more acronyms. The ATA was one that he was having issues with back when we talked about it last time. Is the digital or virtual to legacy, or not necessarily legacy, but physical phone lines. So using your classic standard plug in a RJ11 jack
analog,
to
analog telephone adapter.
Yeah,
that's
the term for it. So now maybe you learned something new. So the OB300 or 302 or the 300 family, as they call it, adapters are really good for that, and that comes from their purchase of the company OB-High, which has been making those types of adapters for a long time. And it's actually funny because those, I don't know if you know about this, but those OB-High devices with Google Voice were like the kind of back behind the scenes hack that it worked for Google Voice on the consumer side, and then they bought it, and now they're pushing it as part of Poly for the business side. So it's nice to see those all grown up and in the workplace. And then of course they got the the conference phones, which I don't know the next time anyone's going to be using those conference phones in a conference room, unless you're the only one in there. I guess as people start to go back to the office eventually. But good hardware.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Anyway,
right.
as you were.
Looking, that's good insight on that. Looking at the next update, this is giving users the ability to see when a message is deleted in a Google Chat space.
Oh, yeah.
So for, of course, those spaces that will allow the deletion of messages, I think is that fully supported now in all spaces? Because I know when it first
anyone
came
that doesn't
out,
have Vault?
It wasn't right. It was anyone that didn't have Vault. So I don't know if that's changed. But if you are able to delete a message, what will happen now is that a message saying that the message was deleted by its author and a timestamp will be added to the conversation indicating that deletion. So it will give users a little bit more insight into whether or not a message was deleted and when that happened. So just kind of easier to keep track of who deleted those messages and when. And I presume if if it works with Vault, then you'd be able to see what that message is involved. But if it doesn't yet, then of course the message is gone. And this one is rolling out starting 26th of Jan to the rapid release and scheduled release domains on an extended rollout, so potentially longer than 15 days for that one, and available to all Workspace and G Suite Basic and business customers.
Take a look at the screenshot here on the reply deleting on a reply. It says when a reply is deleted, only that reply and responses to it are removed, which seems to make it look like it's more of a. Is that just part of the terminology? Is that the terminology that they just use for threaded replies, or is this breaking it out more? I really can't tell from the screenshot.
When a reply is deleted, only that reply and responses to it are removed. Responses to it.
Right? Seems like an interesting phraseology. I can understand you saying replies to a individual thread,
but
when
spaces are
when a user deletes a message in an unthreaded Google Chat space, a message and timestamp will be added to the conversation indicating the deletion. Yeah, so this is only in the unthreaded space.
You know what? I've never used unthreaded spaces.
Me either.
So I don't even. So maybe that's something about you can respond to a previous message, but why would my response to your message also get deleted?
They're trying to improve the readability and flow of a conversation and provide additional context for users.
But I'm looking at the image right now and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because it shows, Anne saying, the share out has been very insightful. Does anyone else have other related resources? Then it looks to me like Anne also made another comment. And then Fabio responds and says, thanks for this, super useful. Well, the response didn't get removed, did it? It's the message in the middle that got removed.
Right.
So that's a bit confusing.
I don't know.
But that's a good point. It is only for those unthreaded Google Chat spaces.
We'll have to play around with it when it comes out.
Something. Well, I just have to make some unthreaded Google Chat spaces, I guess, because I don't use them. Right. So that might be out now. All right, something to test with. There was something else we were going to test with the other week? I think, didn't we test it?
I don't remember.
Do you remember what that was?
You were testing the direct calling for a while.
Yeah, that's working really well.
Yeah, big fan of that.
Yeah, I was shown that to a few people this week, and they were impressed. Someone said, "Oh, can I get your number to give you a call?" I'm like, "You can just call me without my phone number now. Chat supports calling." So, people in the office don't actually have to have your phone number anymore. They just can call you through chat, which is great.
Or with Google Voice or something similar like Ring Central, they don't even like. I eliminated extensions. Extensions are irrelevant. You just find my
Yeah,
name.
right. Yeah.
Even when somebody's calling from outside the company, there's a company directory. You punch in NOW and you get Nolan, and there you are.
Very
I mean,
nice.
everybody technically still has an extension, but they're irrelevant.
Yep.
Onward.
All right. Looking at the next one. So new navigation bar functions in Google Drive, and just some. I guess it's just when you're navigating navigating into the Google Drive web app by hitting the tab key, you can access buttons like skip to main content, keyboard shortcuts, and accessibility and feedback from the bar at the top of the page. Basically, this looks like some accessibility features, and this is a pretty small update, I'd say. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. I thought there was going to be more to this than meets the eye here. But yeah, that is essentially what you can do with some keyboard shortcuts there. And this one is rolling out on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility on rapid release and scheduled release domains starting 27th of January on all Workspace accounts, as well as G Suite Basic and Business.
Cool.
All right. Now, here is the one that started popping up in our admin console before it even got announced. So there was the Google. Oh, yeah. All right.
It heard you.
It did. I got to remember to put those on mute next time. The ability to use Google Directory Sync Beta for fast and easy sync of users and groups. So ways to make it easier to synchronize your Active Directory user groups, user and group data with Google Cloud Directory. And this is an alternative to GCDS, which is the Google Cloud Directory Sync, which most everyone is familiar with. If you've been, syncing up your AD environment into Google, GCDS has been the go-to solution. And you may want to, kind of consider this if you want to synchronize your Microsoft Active Directory LDAP data with your Google Cloud Directory using a completely cloud-based solution without the need to manage on-prem hardware and deployments. So you can dive into the details of this beta through some of the links of the features and network requirements to learn whether it's right for you. And some some examples here of why you might want to use it. So entirely cloud-based. It is auto-scheduled to run on a continuous basis in a loop, kind of easier to use. And then you have some integrated reporting, and you can navigate multi-direct. There is native multi-directory support. So you can sync users and groups from more than one Active Directory source. And that was something I believe that was not possible in GCDS with support for multiple forests and directories, things like that. You can only sync one at a time. So this initial scope for the directory sync beta supports user and group sync with Active Directory only and covers a limited range of attributes. So in the future, there's going to be additional support, including support for additional attributes, OU mapping, and automatically placing the user accounts in OUs and more types of data. So, something to look at if you have a pretty minimal set of requirements right now in terms of those different data points in Active Directory, and then look for that feature set to expand as the product nears general availability. And rollout for this started January 27th to both rapid release and scheduled release domains, and it actually started a little bit before that, so a little bit off on the dates there. Kind of rolled out beforehand.
Jump the gun.
But this is available. Yeah, yeah. Someone pressed the deploy button before the PR team uh, pressed the deploy button. So yeah, engineering team basically got ahead of the PR team, and available to all workspace customers as well as basic and business and those cloud identity customers as well. All right. Last but not least, we have the ability to categorize content and enhance content protection at scale with Google Drive labels. So this is a pretty cool feature. There's actually, this is the first time that I've seen videos
I
in
was thinking
an
that.
update post, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So there's and they're super tiny too. Like, so you have to, you know, I mean, the way that they're, if you full screen them, they're fine. It's actually good quality. You can see it.
Yeah.
But the size of the thumbnail in the post is pretty small.
You're
And
still only 720.
yeah, well, they're recording it on Google Meet probably. That's why.
Or Threads. Threadit?
Thread it?
Yeah, Google's Area 120 Loom competitor.
Oh, I haven't. Did we talk about that before?
Look it up. Pro
All
tip.
right.
Yeah. Threadit.app is how you get there.
Interesting.
Threadit.app. Area 120 by Google. Short video recordings to share your work, connect your team, and get your day back. It's a pretty cool concept, actually. We started using it instead of Loom because it is a Loom competitor and it is currently free. So check that out.
Nice. All right.
But
well,
yeah, those videos are
so
tiny.
this, yeah. So automatic classifications are pretty cool. You can start to build rules to say, when this keyword is in a document, and then apply this label, and then do these certain things with, restricting access, for example. And, that is something that just really helps make it a lot easier for classification of data and control of that data. Before you could start to, warn users or let users know that, you should be filling out these label fields, but there really wasn't anything preventing a user from just continuing to use that document and not applying, one of the labels that you wanted them to. So with these, with this feature here, this now becomes kind of automatically applied. It automatically kind of triggers those actions that you want it to take based on and how kind of how these things are happening. So as for admins, it's something that is off by default, but can be enabled in the domain, OU, or group level. And you have to, before you use this, you have to turn on drive labels for the org and publish at least one label in the label manager, and then start to kind of build out those rules and classifications. So this one started rolling out on the 28th of January to rapid release and schedule release domains on a full rollout with just a short 1 to 3 day window for feature visibility. So that one should be finishing up today, tomorrow, if it's not already there for you. And, given the features in terms of how this applies to security and DLP, this is going to be not available on all those workspace environments. So it's only going to be available on Workspace Essentials, Business Standard, Business Plus, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Fundamentals, Education Plus, and Nonprofits. So it's not going to be available to Business Starter, Education Fundamentals, and Frontline, as well as G Suite Basic and Business customers. I like that it's coming to Nonprofit because now I'm working on a nonprofit environment and we don't always see all these nice, cool features. So
Nope.
It is nice to see that this is going to be available to us as well. So something that we've been doing a lot more of is, kind of a security initiative, let's say. Mm-hmm. Almost everyone has their security keys right now. So that is, we're nearly at 100% security key enforcement. I think we've got about three to five people left to go, but that's just because they haven't been in the office, and just gotta
Are you
those keys to them.
YubiKey or Google?
We went with the Titan keys. Yeah, the Titan keys.
Right.
Yeah. They were just easy to get from the Google store and order a whole bunch. Actually, I bought so many that the store sold out. I had to wait a couple more days for them to restock itself and order some more. Because I was ordering about 30 keys. And you only order 10 at a time per order per key type. So I had to break it out.
You can do
to
bulk orders.
10. Well, I could do 10 at a time. Yeah, I could do 10 A keys and 10 C keys, and that was it. And they wouldn't let me add any more.
I think you can. Where did I see bulk orders? I was just looking at it somewhere. Probably if you get in touch with them.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to put the order in that day, that minute. So that's the kind of limit you have if you want to do it right away.
Apparently, they're available through a distributor, Synex.
Yeah, Synex is right. Yeah, but that just takes ages, and
I'm sure.
Yeah, it just takes way too long.
Much easier to just go through the store. I hear you.
I think you might know something about long shipments for your Chromebook there, Jesse.
Oh my god, a year.
That one came through Synex, by the way.
Oh, so good to know.
Yeah,
that would explain it.
Yeah.
I got to get that first look video out and then film a follow-up review of it. No, I haven't had time to edit it. It was supposed to be today, and then I had a network emergency that came up where the entire network at our founder's location just completely shit the bed. So I was over there for, I don't know, 5-6 hours just rebuilding all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Ubiquity, for not great. That was weird.
Yeah. Well, the next update that we have is the January 27th update or announcement of version 55 coming for the Drive for Desktop client. And one of the this has quite an interesting feature is that Windows and Mac users, or Windows and Mac OS platforms, users can now search all of their Drive content from the Drive for Desktop UI.
Game changer.
Yeah, and there was a thread on the Google Cloud Connect community talking about how, especially in the Macs, for example, that Mac was limiting access to data in terms of segmenting it, and that was why Drive wasn't able to, or it wasn't. I'm trying to think. I wonder if this isn't or isn't solving the problem. I think this is probably the workaround, right? So the challenge people were saying was that the macOS Finder wasn't indexing the Google Drive contents on the Mac drives.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like it's probably still the case. And this is now just bringing search functionality into the Drive for Desktop client into it itself so that you can search in there. And I think that was one of the potential solutions that was talked about in this thread. So I think there'll be a lot of people happy to see this because that conversation had over 100 responses on the Google Cloud Connect community. So I got to dig that up and see if I can find it to see if there's been anyone posting this update. So be nice.
Well, I don't have it yet, so I can't test it.
Yeah.
I keep checking.
Yeah. So there's a couple other little things as well. Mac OS resolved an issue when connecting a camera. It's interesting. Why would it care about? I mean, maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe it was like dismounting the volume or something when it connected to camera. I don't know. Resolved an issue where a USB device can block Drive from loading, and then additional bug fixes and performance updates. And the Drive for Desktop native search requires version 50 or above. So I wonder why that's going to have. Oh, I can see it now. Do you see it?
See what?
I've never even noticed this. So you're on your Mac right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the Drive for Desktop client open, right?
I do. I'm not on the new version though. I'm on 54.0.3.0.
Well, I know. Well, so am I. But do you see the search icon next to the gearbox?
Yeah, you're right.
I've never noticed that.
Huh. and I can switch accounts of which account I'm searching for on there too, because I'm logged into two
Yeah,
different
it's kind of
accounts.
cool.
Nice. I'm gonna have to tell a whole bunch of people
It
about that
does.
at my
It does
org.
take a little while though. It's not nearly as fast
It's not
as
a quick
the
search.
Drive UI. No. But it does.
That's
I mean,
not
it does
bad.
tell you. Yeah, I mean, it does tell you like you're using 884 gigs of 2 terabytes. I'm using 12.1 gigs on that one.
Where are you
So
seeing
your
that?
usage on there.
We're not talking about search
Oh, in the
anymore.
drop down when I change the accounts, I want to search.
Oh, I was talking about in the, like, when you click search and it opens the search window there.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about that also. You can see, yeah, that's usually the account switcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5
Right.
gig in this one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's 5 terabyte in this one and 2.3 terabyte in that one. I was like, there's a comma in
So
there.
it's
No, but stuff that I was
so
working
yeah,
on
so it's
even
not
just
bad.
a couple hours ago are showing up in there. So easy
Yeah.
search, and I like the little Google loading, the search loading bar that is in Google Colors. It's a nice touch.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, and that's indexing things that I have backing up. So it's searching in other computers, my MacBook Pro downloads, so that it's technically on my computer, but it's the Google
Yeah.
Drive version of it. So,
Right.
yeah, it's a nice implementation. I'm definitely going to use that in the future. Nice, quick
There you go.
shortcut.
Yeah.
And then you didn't mention that they're ending support for older versions on here.
Oh, is that still? Oh, yeah, that's the last
bit there.
last part there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything released more than 12 months ago. And any users with Drive for Desktop versions 40 through 46 must apparently upgrade in order to remain supported. And that's that. The only other topics that we had were just some coverage on the Google G Suite legacy shutdown and what possible alternatives Google is thinking about offering. What we're starting to see here is really that Google is understanding that there's a hell of a lot more of us than they thought. I think they're honestly surprised by this, taken aback by the backlash that they're seeing from the community of how many people are using this for families, which they really should have seen, because us IT folks love free things, and especially when it provides a good service and we can keep it all, centralized for our families and managed and whatnot. So I think that you'll probably see something here where there is an option for a couple bucks a month or whatever to be able to have, similar to Google One, like Google One for Families kind of thing, but with a domain and workspace, so to speak, attached to it. I mean, it's not that hard for Google to put out something like that. And so that's where I think where some of these articles are going, is saying, okay, either they're going to provide a better way to migrate to a free account, or what types of alternative solutions they may have for us. So fingers crossed, and we're going to be asking Google all of these questions and getting a good answer from them, hopefully a good answer from them, to share with everybody on our live YouTube event this Wednesday. So now we have come full circle in the show.
Yeah.
Any other topics
Yeah,
here? Go ahead.
Well, I just kind of looking at that use case, you're saying about users that are leveraging the G Suite legacy for family, and Google trying to match everything that Microsoft's been doing. Microsoft has a 365 family account that you can get 6 users for $100 a year, and you get 1 terabyte of storage per person. So, if that isn't something that Google thought of ahead of time, I think they definitely missed it on that one, because that is often very often one of the thoughts that people have of, well, I'll just move it over to Microsoft families because it can do that.
So I didn't know that was a thing. So good point.
Yeah. So you got premium Office, 6 terabytes of cloud storage, and probably most of the basic admin controls that you get in a 365 environment. So
now, if they would only tie it into very useful features like the Google Assistant and Nest and Google Home and all the consumer side stuff. What?
Discover on Android. So when you go into your home Google app, Discover is not turned on. It can't be turned on. For workspace accounts, but it does work for G Suite legacy accounts.
Mm-hmm. funny when
So
before we started the show, I was telling you, Steve, tell the audience that I was telling Steve about when I looked back at the original emails that I got from my account. This one, which is the longest one that I've had running, was since 2009, and I have the email in there where Google sent out an email say this is now more of a full Google account as opposed to just being able to use your domain with email. So originally you couldn't do any of that stuff, even the normal Google account stuff, and then they added it, and then apparently they've taken it away and added it again, and still we can't do many of those same things. So it'd be really nice to have that kind of a beautiful blend between the best of workspace and consumer products there to create that new for family product suite that you mentioned. So I like it.
Yeah.
I would pay a couple bucks a month for that.
Yeah.
Bonus points if they have voice recognition for my 5-year-old, and we'll only show him YouTube videos on the Google Home that are appropriate. And by appropriate, I mean SpaceX rocket videos, because that's really all he watches anyway. He's obsessed. All right. I think that's everything. So send us your questions and comments. Drop your questions and comments in the video or in the comment section below if you're over on YouTube, otherwise on Twitter at Workspace Recap. And I'm Mr. J. Nolan, and Steve, you're never on Twitter anyway. So Larson161 if you are.
That's it. Yeah.
Again, reminder.
Probably more active on the Workspace Recap.
Account. For sure. So hit us up over there, and you'll get both of us. Again, reminder that we have a live event on YouTube this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and we'll be going over all of the discussion around the legacy G Suite accounts and what's happening and what could be happening, and hopefully getting answers to questions. So if you have questions, please drop them in the comments below on this YouTube video. And if you're not looking on YouTube, thank you, Steve. Yes, down below. If you're not listening to this on YouTube, please hop over onto YouTube and subscribe, and drop your questions in the comments below so that we can get them over to Google. That's, I think, the easiest way to basically track this conversation, unless we create another Reddit community. But so many people are not on Reddit, so I figure YouTube is a good way to go. Anyway, hoping to get you some good answers here, everybody. So have a good week. And hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday. And if not, then we'll see you next time on Workspace Recap.